Good evening, YouTube, or good morning, YouTube, wherever you may be watching this. It's evening here, hence my lovely salutation. If you watched my last video, you'll know that this past weekend I was at an event called Play Expo Manchester. If you didn't see that video, you don't give a toss about what I was doing prior to this video erupting onto your screen, then let me explain. Play Expo Manchester is a big event that is held, surprisingly, in the city of Manchester in the northwest of England. I had to think about that then. If you can't tell from my accent, that's actually where I'm from, but I don't live in Manchester anymore, so I had to I had to make a 6-hour journey to Manchester from where I now live, and that was interesting, shall we say. Traffic, roadworks, the Great British Motorway Network, fantastic. Anyway, you didn't come to this video to listen to me waffle about how bad the infrastructure is in this country. You came here for me to tell you about the different games that I picked up at the event. Again, if you did see my previous video, you'll know that there were lots of traders and I was there in the capacity of an exhibitor. And I did get the chance to walk around and spend some money and buy some things. And with this video, I just wanted to quickly run down the things that I picked up. I've just noticed that I look like a teacher with this tweed jacket on. It's just because I've got back in from work, and I thought, on the drive back from work, I thought, I'll make a video when I get home. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So apologies for the slightly formal attire. Okay, going to jump into the things I picked up. Again, quite Dreamcast heavy. If you don't like the Dreamcast, turn off. I always say that. I don't know why, but I do realise that people click these videos and they don't realise what I'm going to talk about until I get into it and think, this is boring, and just click off it. Anyway, again, if you've seen other videos on my channel, you'll know that I'm quite a fan of the Game Boy Advance. I own several. The most recent acquisition, of course, was this one, the Game Boy Micro. I've got several others, Game Boy Micro, Game Boy SP101. There's another video about the different screens on this channel. So I did buy some Game Boy Advance games. Weirdly, I'm not bothered about like the boxes with any other type of console that I buy games for, be it the Saturn, the CDI, not so much N64, obviously, you can see there probably, but anything else, Dreamcast, PlayStation, Neo Geo CD, I always want the box with them because they are CDs, obviously. Even with stuff like the Mega Drive, most of them are boxed. But with Game Boy Advance games, I'm not really that fussed because the boxes are made of cardboard and they obviously perish over time, and so it's quite uncommon to get them with boxes. So, just cartridges, apart from one, which I'll talk about in a second. So, the first one I got is this. I don't know if you can see that with the light shining off it, but it's called Phalanx. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. There aren't many on the Game Boy Advance. There's this one, R-Type, probably a few others. But yeah, it's I name-checked R-Type there, but it is quite similar to R-Type. What I want to do in the future is I want to get like an Elgato or something, or some kind of HD video capture device, so I can start looking at these Game Boy Advance games with my trusty Retron, because it does play all the Game Boy Advance games and outputs HD. I can use the Game Boy player, but it's not the best, to be honest. So I want to wait till I've got a proper capture device and I'll do it properly. Another one I picked up is this. It's called Monster Truck Madness. Hopefully you can see that. Quite a cool game, actually. It's got polygonal vehicles. From a distance, it looks like a PS1 game. It's almost that good. Maybe not that good, but you get the idea. It's not basically flat Mode 7. It's got actual physical buildings, and the vehicles are all 3D and things. It's quite good. And that one actually came in a box, which was quite nice. £4 that was. The other Game Boy Advance game I got was this one, Duke Nukem Advance. I knew that it wasn't the same as the PC version when it came out because I remember seeing it in magazines, but it's still quite a good shoot 'em up for the Game Boy Advance. Quite a nice 3D engine. It's not really on the same level as like Doom or Doom 2, but it's still very impressive for a handheld game. Now, the last thing I got for the Game Boy is something I'm a little bit disappointed by, and I'll tell you why now. So it's this. Hope you can see that. Resident Evil. Now, as we know, Resident Evil didn't come out on the Game Boy, but it was in the works for the Game Boy Color, a port of the PlayStation 1 game. very crude graphics, but quite an ambitious title. If you look at it, you know, after you've watched this one, just type Resident Evil Game Boy Color into the search box, and you'll find footage of it. And I believe the ROM is available online. I bought this thinking that it was that ROM just on a cartridge, and on the back it does actually say repro game, full game, works on Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. So naturally I just assumed it was that version of the game. It's actually Resident Evil Gaiden, which is a side-scrolling shooter, and while it's still a decent game, I wouldn't have paid £12 what it was for that, because it's not a game that I would have bought naturally. So if you do see this particular repro cart on eBay or on a market stall whenever you go to an event, just check it first, because it might be Resident Evil Gaiden. So, or Gaiden, however you pronounce it. So, yeah, that's just a bit of advice there. Okay, moving on. The vast majority, well, all of the other games I got were Dreamcast related. So, again, I keep saying it, I'm just wary that other people like different things. And so if you find that boring, I'll know because I look at the analytics. At this point in the video, if everybody just drops off, that's when I know that I'm hitting the wrong demographic with this kind of video. Right, there are a couple of other non-Play Expo pickups that I will talk about after the Play Expo pickups, but we'll jump right in here. And again, apologies for the light shining. It's quite dark outside, so I've got a light kind of shining on me just to illuminate my face. So yeah, the first one is this, DreamFlyer. Now, DreamFlyer is a useless thing. It's in the same category as the karaoke unit and other online-enabled things for the Dreamcast that are no longer usable. So basically what this allowed you to do is to create flyers for events or for your business or birthday cards, that kind of thing, or even just messing about, putting like a picture of your face in conjunction with the Dream Eye camera onto a flyer and sending it to your mate via the online side of the Dreamcast via email. Again, I've not actually tried this yet, but I believe it's now completely useless. If you put it in and try and do anything with it, it won't do anything because there's no online service. I don't know if you can actually edit anything anymore with it either, because I'm not sure if it was all reliant on the online aspect, but I'll have a look at that in the future. And well, probably after I've done this video. I should have done it first, to be honest. I apologise, but I haven't. Okay, the next thing I got is Tetris 4D. Never played this one. You know, I'm quite indifferent to Tetris, to be honest. I know I've obviously played many different versions of it. I own multiple versions of it, but this was really cheap and it's a game I didn't have in the collection, so I thought I'd pick it up. Next, the King of Fighters 2002. Again, I do have multiple King of Fighters games. I can see several from here across several different platforms. Saturn, Neo Geo CD, even the Game Boy Advance I've got it for, and also now I've got the 2002 edition for the Dreamcast. And yeah, quite a nice bit of artwork. The only one I don't have on the Dreamcast now I think is 2000. Yeah, 2000. Got all the rest. Do like King of Fighters, even though I'm rubbish at it. Next one, the fighting game. This is Rival Schools, Project Justice, Rival Schools 2, it's the Japanese version. I don't own the PAL version because it's about £100 and it's essentially the same game. I do have a burn copy, not the official one. So I saw this for £10 and thought, yeah, I'll get that because it's a great game. Even though the menus are in Japanese, you don't really need the menus to be able to fight and have some fun with it. The last game I picked up is this, Samba de Amigo version 2000. And that's because I also got, through a friend who brought it to the event for me, this, which is the Samba de Amigo box set, the PAL version. And nice story behind this, the guy who I got it off, I won't say his name on the video, he actually won this in a competition from Sega Europe on Dream Arena back in like 2000 or something. And he showed me the note as well that he got with it from Sega Europe, saying, oh, apparently there was some delay with the prize being sent to his house. So this is actually from Sega Europe. It came with a couple other games, and there was a little note saying, oh, sorry for the delay. So that's really cool. And to be honest, I don't even think it's been opened. Or, it's been opened, obviously, but I don't think it's been played with, because everything's kind of really nicely still laid into the cardboard. I might be wrong, it might have come all wrapped in cellophane and he has taken it out, but it looks to me like it's not really been played with, to be honest. And that comes with the PAL version of the game as well. and the mat and the maracas. Do you know, I didn't even know they had things inside that rattled, but yeah, they do. Amazing. So that's that. Flat down. Okay, a couple of other things I got prior to going to Play Expo. Again, for the Dreamcast, I'll just quickly whiz through these. Friend of mine who lives in Japan, Ross, he's the guy who got the Dreamcast clock off, which, give me a second. I don't think I've shown this on a video yet, so I'll just show you this now. It's a little clock that comes in a little box, wrapped in plastic. It's just a cheaper alarm clock, but it's got a Dreamcast sort of swirl. You know, that could potentially have anything in, like paper-wise, in the back. But he sent me that, and he also, for some reason, threw in this, which is Gundam Online, another game that's pretty much redundant in this age of no online servers. Well, not for these games anyway. I know there's the DreamPie and all that stuff with Dreamcast Live going on at the moment, with all these servers coming back online, but certain games like that, impenetrable Japanese games, which nobody wants to play anyway. But it was nice of him to send me that, so thanks for that. Next one is this. It's Zia and the Goddesses of Magic. This is a brand new indie game that came out in September 2016. It's now October 2016, so it's just over a month old. If you're watching this in the future, yeah, it came out in September 2016 from a French developer called Orion. I reviewed this for the Dreamcast Junkyard. It's quite good if you like 2D traditional RPGs like Zelda games. And yeah, there's a couple of niggles I had with it, like there's no map, for example. But I believe fellow YouTuber, I say fellow YouTuber, he's 10 times better than I am. But Adam Koralik, he's actually in this game. He's in there as an NPC. So yeah, give Adam a mention if you see him in the game. The last thing I picked up is something that's quite interesting. A couple of people may have seen this in the background. This is a stand-up that I got from a friend of mine at the recent, or I say recent, it was in March, Doncaster Retro Collect video game market. This is a stand-up for a game called former Managing Director Yukawa's Treasure Hunt, which was a promotional item for the Dreamcast back in like 2000. No, sorry, it's actually got the date on here. So it ran from the 11th of, the 20th of March 1999 to the 11th of April 1999, so not a massive window of time, but it was a promotion that they ran in Japan where you could use the game to find items and then enter competitions to win those items in reality. And as I say, it's called Mr. Yukawa's Treasure Hunt. Didn't have the game, I had the stand-up, but recently I acquired through eBay the actual game, and I have played this one. It's quite a weird one because when you first start the game, it's full of impenetrable Japanese text, and I was just kind of cycling through menus to try and get to the game itself. When I did get to the game itself, it wasn't actually that great, but what do you expect from a promotional item? So you kind of walk around this 2D map as Mr. Yukawa, the managing director, and you have a shovel and you dig up things. You have a finite amount of big tokens, or what you want to call them, and as you dig around you pick up tiles which make up images of things that you could win. So I believe what would happen is if you, for example, found all the pieces of a picture of a VMU, you could enter the competition on SegaNet or the Japanese version, or Drycast or whatever it was called, and then enter a competition to win that item. So it's an interesting oddity, and certainly an original way of doing a promotion for people to win actual items. I might again do like a video or review of this in the near future on my blog, which is the dreamcastjunkyard.co.uk. Check it out if you don't know about it already. But yeah, that's the end of the pickups that I've made. I hope my droning voice didn't bore you too much, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. Oh, also at this point, I'm guessing no one will see this because people would have switched off ages ago, but apparently I've now got 500 subscribers, which is a bit of a milestone usually for people on YouTube. Don't really class myself as a YouTuber as such. I just do these videos as and when I can be bothered, really. But yeah, thank you to all you people who've subscribed, and thank you for watching my drivel, basically, because I didn't ever suspect, when I can speak properly, I didn't ever expect to get that many subscribers. So yeah, thank you for subscribing, and just stay happy. Bye.